The Tampa Bay Buccaneers injury report is pretty darn stacked with names. Let's talk about it. Shout out to Sleeper, by the way. More on them a little bit later on in this video. So, taking a look at the Bucs injury report for their matchup versus the LA Rams, it's a long list, okay? Let's start off with the guys who have not been participating. Chris Braswell did not participate on Wednesday due to a foot injury. Ben Bredeson was no-go on Wednesday with a hamstring injury, although we do have some updates on Thursday regarding him, thanks to Greg Auman on Twitter. Jamel Dean was no-go on Wednesday with a hip injury. Also, keep in mind, this was a walkthrough practice that was conducted on Wednesday as well. McLaughlin was excused from Wednesday, but he is good to go. Nothing to worry about there. Hassan Reddick, no-go on Wednesday with ankle and knee injuries. In fact, nobody's really seen Hassan Reddick, at least in terms of the media and whatnot, since his injuries did occur. So fingers crossed he will be okay. Hopefully just later on down the line. Again, it's another one of those scenarios where it's like, we'll see him when we see him type thing. But then you see a lot of illness here, right? Apparently there was a stomach bug going on here at the Buccaneers facility that affected a lot of players and even some coaches in there as well. So Graham Barton, Emeka Ibuka, Dan Feeney, Luke Gedeke, Logan Hall, even Baker Mayfield all have this stomach bug right now. They should all be good to go for the game coming up on Sunday. Chris Godwin was limited with a fibula injury on Wednesday. Bucky Irving still limited with shoulder and foot injuries on Wednesday as well. I've given you guys my thoughts and opinions on that. I will believe it when I freaking see it. Also, Sterling Shepard was limited with a shoulder injury on Wednesday. Tristan Wirfs was limited on Wednesday with a shoulder injury as well. And Marquise Watts was actually full go with a hand injury. So, a little bit of special teams reinforcements there for the Bucs. But we do have some updates here from Thursday, thanks to Greg Auman. So Braswell had a helmet in hand at practice, so trying to see what he can do. Jamel Dean was working on the side with a trainer, so I imagine Jamel Dean would still be listed as a non-participant, and I guess Braswell would be listed as limited on Thursday there, so interesting to make a note of there. One thing that is interesting is that, hey, Jalen McMillan's out there. No neck brace. Love that, right? Love that. Still eyeing a December return. Fingers crossed that Jalen McMillan can come back. He'd be a huge boost to this wide receiver room. And it looks like Bredeson is going to be out there at practice today, or was out there at practice today on Thursday. So again, I assume you would probably upgrade him from no participation to limited. So again, much like in the case of Braswell, we'll kind of wait and see, but he would be a big help at that left guard position. And then Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin, both coming off of long injury absences, they're running and stuff like that. It was important to note here that Auman said again, haven't seen Reddick at any point since his injury, which is not ideal. And then you had Josh Grizzard after practice saying it's still early to think of Irving and Godwin as close enough to being game planning. So it does seem like they're not really going to be in the mix, or it's still like, hey, they're limited, we'll see what happens here. Again, I'm still in believe it when I see it type mode, okay? That's just how I am with this scenario. It is what it is. It is what it is. So maybe you get Braswell, maybe you get Ben Bredeson, but Dean doesn't seem like it. Reddick certainly doesn't seem like it. In the case of Godwin and Irving, I'm going to say they're not playing until we get 100% concrete proof that they're playing. And then everybody with the illness, with the stomach bug, they should be fine. Same thing with Shepard and Wirfs. They should be fine as well. I do also want to look up real quick the LA Rams depth chart here, because they do have a few guys on the injured reserve that they have placed recently. Because you guys will see the injury report here and be like, what the heck? They don't even have any injuries, right? Nate Landman, limited with a back injury. Xavier Smith, concussion, probably won't play. But then aside from that, it's like Kobe Turner's good. Josh Wallace is good. What the heck? They're super healthy. But Like Tutu Atwell was placed on the IR. He's been their third wide receiver. Rob Havenstein, he's their starting right tackle, was placed on the IR. Tyler Higbee was placed on the IR as well. He's their starting tight end. So, I mean, those are three guys that were placed on the IR, which is certainly notable. Same thing with Akilo Witherspoon. I think he was a starter for them. He's also going on the IR, or he also is on the IR. Quentin Lake in there as well. So, they're more hurt than what that injury report, would seem to indicate. They're without their starting tight end, probably their number 3 wide receiver, and a starting right tackle as well. So they are, and a starting corner. So they are certainly not as healthy as what this injury report would indicate. So there you have that. Real quick before we go ahead and head out here, everybody, I do want to say shout out to Sleeper, the proud sponsor of this channel. As you guys can see right over here, making picks is as simple as hitting a couple of buttons, everybody. And whenever you guys use the code MrBucs, you will get a 100% match up to $100. That is whenever you use the code MrBucs. Also, just for signing up, you get $20 for free. Literally, folks, just $20 for free. It is simple as that. So make sure you go sign up for Sleeper today. Enjoy football the way it was meant to be. That is together. Huge shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor of this channel. Folks, thank you all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this injury report. I would love to hear it. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.